from?
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me, man, on Lunar Speaks, man. Understand, I break it down right quick,
don't forget it. One who West in my brain, one who West in my heart, one who West when I finish, one who West when I start. Big shine, big glow. I be gone till November, let my bitch know. I'm back by the winter, bubbling like Crisco. I need my pockets all swollen like a lymph node. Talking out the side of your neck, get you a slit throat. I stay broke, don't care if I got $1 million. Looking down on me, I put your brains on the ceiling. Fuck kicking down the door, we bout to demo the building. Fake cats all in these groups, I wonder who ya. Shoot ya off your pulpit, hallelujah. 4-pound gun youngin' down like it's a cougar. On my feet, combat boots, or is it Puma? Words spreading around about me, none of it rumor. All truth, very big facts, very large caliber on very small gaps. Compact pistols, ladders, and all that. About to throw the switch in the Nina for rapid fire. Got the 5.7 equipped with the magnifier. Boom shakalaka equipped with the rim rocker. We ain't really got beef, yeah, Ramak would have been shot ya. The best rhymer since Pac and Big Papa. Big llama, big juice, I'm Big Jamba. Quarter tank of gas, I ride like a big timer. No informer, no sweat, not insider. My conglomerate wreck like King Tonga. No Asian pun me, no chink in armor. Remain calm throughout pain that bring trauma. Stay focused on things that bring commas. Took all pressure, applied and made diamonds. Stayed true, kept shit pure, my name honored. Paid all dues and debts and kept promise. Make sure you show respect, pay homage to the king. One West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West when I start. I said I've been one West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West when I start. I'm the hottest on the market, don't make me start it. I'ma pull up in a Spider-Man and Peter Parker. I remember days was trapping out the apartment. Now one West about put me up in a starship. About to fly the friendly skies in this bitch. Spit the truth on the corners, I lie a little bit. I'm a stand-up nigga, I die before I switch. Down, no we up, I'm cool with who I with. I'ma be war the king and stay dangerous. Hold down the biz and fam, remain blameless. Now rappers drippy with styles we made famous. First with studs and spikes in any city. Designing charge a stack for shit that can't fit me. Had fringes on my coattail way before Jimmy. Funny how the general ain't even see a penny. Better show respect, get smoked like a chimney. Keep my name out your mouth, don't even think it. Send a real Smith that y'all know Jada Pinkett. Both ball heads, my grain a $1.50. Lost my man to the game, that pain that stuck with me. Had to find a cheat code to the street though, cause them niggas getting foul, shoot you like a free throw. Keep spitting acid like a Mino, and the nigga be the nicest with a mean flow. Try to ride my wave, you gon' need a speedboat. I'm hot like 100 degrees in a peacoat. Scarf in the sweater, I embark every letter. It's UPK, not a part, but together. Homie, I've been one West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West when I start. One West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So that you said that they put millions of my people. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog.
expected to grow. This obstacle set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home, only a place of captivity, save facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angels, be ready to rap. Cracking the sky, nuclear missiles will make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood, Slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in this body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mad shooters. That was designed fire for our babies to pass through. In the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
Someday you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
Shalom, Israel. We are the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. We've been established and teaching the truth since 1969 under Commander Junior Hanna. It is not of ISUPK under Commander Hanna. It is not of Lord. You are not in the truth. You are nothing but a simple break off, a simple copycat, a simple I got the zeal to do right, but not according to the knowledge. So let me make sure I got all my social medias up and running. Let me make sure I got TikTok up. I see Facebook is up and good. YouTube looks up and good. All right, shalom TikTok, we're back now. TikTok, we're there. All right, yeah, TikTok, we're back now. You know, we've been on the ban list for a few weeks, but we're back now, back going live, and I guess I gotta really watch my choice of words to convey the Lord's message. But as y'all don't know, this is the month of June belongs to now in America belongs to Gay Pride. It's now Pride Month. And today I'm going to go over the history of the Titus classes, like the history behind Pride Month. I'm going to make this a whole month series. Like each week I'm going to, like to this class, I'm going to just break down what I'm going to talk about for the rest of the month. I'm going to go down later on throughout the month of each class. I'm going to talk about the origins of Pride Month, like how it started. I'm going to talk about the mental health side effects of it and how it's a part of mental health. Then I'm going to break down the origin amongst different races of people. So dealing with pride, we're going to use pride as the talking word for homosexuality or the LGBTQIA+ community. It is very hard to pinpoint who actually started. it is extremely hard to pinpoint what race of people actually started. But what you can do is you can go by the origins of it as it broke out amongst each race. So you can look into it with the Samaritans, you can look into it with the Egyptians, you can look into it with the Romans and the Greeks. And we can even go back to look into it, just recent history, as in how it is in America, just over like the past 50 years. This is something that has been happening. Like I said, there's certain different origin points to look at. It's very vast, so it's hard to pinpoint. Say this is the person this is the first Pride person. You know, it's very hard to pinpoint who was the actual first. But throughout this class, this gonna be like the introduction for the rest of the month, since it's Pride Month, and of course, I'm gonna teach a class about Father's Day. You know, they got that month in here, like that's overshadowed, and of course, I'm gonna talk about Juneteenth and why we should not partake into it. And there's various of different reasons why. In hindsight, it sounds good to support Black businesses and support your own, but Juneteenth has been hijacked by Pride Month, and it also has been hijacked by our oppressors. The Mr. and Mrs. Dwight, man, woman, and child. If y'all catch my drill. All right, so as I begin to teach this class, if y'all got any questions or comments, for those who watch on social medias, outlet or platforms, just type in your questions and I'll do my best to answer them in time to get your questions answered. If not, I'll remember your question. I'll answer it next class if I missed the question that y'all have. All right, so with that, got a question for everybody. Social media and the classroom. What do y'all think it means to be in support of Pride Month? You know, I know these are like hard questions. Like, what you mean support Pride Month? You mean like wearing a rainbow? You know, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of ways we can look into what Pride Month started from. I mean, a lot of times we tend to think of it in hindsight. Oh, I'm gonna bring out another class as well. I was at my slavery a year ago. They was in support of Pride Month, and they wanted to educate all their employees about Pride Month. And it turns out amongst the LGBTQ spectrum, they have over 15 different flags, 15 different variations of their flags. And I'm gonna bring that out later on this month as well. Like each flag has a certain color, a certain design, a certain pattern. It means this, it means that. I mean, it's bananas out here in these streets. But according to like Pride Month, like how I was told, was that it's in support of those who want to live that alternative lifestyle or that alternative behavior. And just support them for, they call it living their truth. You know what I'm saying? They want to be who you are, your free spirit, and you just want to just live your truth and that be it. Well, if that's the case, if it's a natural thing, why the need to push it amongst everybody? You see what I'm saying? Like, if you notice, like I was speaking on at camp or whatever this past Saturday, and I asked a question that no one can answer. If it's as natural, or one question I raised was, since after 2015, if it is one, that's fine. I just haven't seen one. Since the year 2015, show me a TV series or a movie or a new documentary that does not have the LGBTQ representation in it. It's like you can't even escape it anymore. Like if you want to be pro LGBTQ, you can be pro that. If you want to be pro heterosexual, be pro that. Like where is something that don't have the representation of it? Like you can almost find, an all black movie. You know, all black people. You can almost find an all white movie with all white people, or you all Asians or all something. Like where's the movies that doesn't have the representation of certain behaviors or certain lifestyles? Like I can actually find a movie where you don't see some type of gangster. Like when I say gangsters, I'm referring to like the mob, like the Italians. Like I can find something without a gangster in it. You see what I'm saying? Like I can find something without horror. I can find something without comedy. Even though you might laugh at the movie. Like there's different genres. So why is it that amongst every genre, you can't find something without that being in it? So, and that's the question that I raised. All right. So we're gonna go into just a few scriptures of it, and I got a couple of articles. Hopefully y'all can be able to see it. If not, I definitely gotta work on getting a laptop so I can share my screen, and then TikTok, y'all be able to see it as well. So I want to get I got a few articles. One, I'm gonna bring out the article about the Stonewall Uprising. For those of you who never heard of that, this is the kickstarter to how Pride Month began. The Stonewall Uprising. I'm just briefly speak on it before we bring out the article. Stonewall Uprising happened in 1969. Essentially, it was about not sure if LGBTQ name was around, but they was alternative lifestyle people, alternative lifestyle behaviors. They was at like these bars, and they wanted to just be happy, live their lifestyle the way they wanted to. And it was considered riots because they started to like rebel against certain police officers. They started to like lock arms and lock ankles and say, no, we're not going to go for none of this. Essentially, it became like a big movement, and it became a parade in Manhattan in New York, which I'm going to bring out the article. Then a year later, they started to celebrate it annually. Then it just kept gaining steam over time. Then 30 years later, Bill Clinton made it a holiday. All right, not a holiday, made it recognized as in Pride Month. But initially, it started off as Pride Week, like the last week of June. But let me just go ahead and get straight into this article so y'all can actually see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go to the Stonewall article. So a little bit. So I got an article by CNN, and it says, Pride these days is synonymous with the rainbow-saturated celebrations of the LGBTQ community. The media coverage is now called the Stonewall Riots, reflected in the era of homophobic attitudes in the late 1960s. It was still illegal in most states to be a homosexual. Not a single law protected gay people from discrimination, and there was no openly gay politicians or pop-up icons until, Elton Brand. That was Elton John. So it says, what is the Stonewall Inn? Stonewall Inn is opened as a gay club in 1967 in the heart of Manhattan's Bohemian Greenwich Village neighborhood. Despite the progressive winds sweeping the nation, New York is notorious for its strict enforcement of anti-homosexual laws that made it risky for gay people to congregate in public. So as y'all can see, based on what I'm reading in this article, it wasn't like happy to, it wasn't proud to come out and live this type of behavior, live this type of lifestyle. So like people who, it's like you had the term coming from the closet was mean you had to hide. Like if you don't want to show like your dirty clothes, you don't want to see like how out of place your shoes may be, or out of place how your clothes might be, you just throw everything in the closet and you close the door. Like the things you want to be hid or kept hid, you throw it in the closet. And that's one of the terms of coming out the closet comes from. That's one variation of it. And it's just something you want to hide. So that's when we hear terms like, hey, Tamika, she came out the closet. Meaning that she's been like this, but she was just hiding for so long. Or Jason came out the closet, whatever the case may be. So right here, as y'all can see earlier, they had laws. I mean, you could not be a homosexual. If you was a homosexual, they was gonna come for you. Like it ain't no, let me come out here and let me live this life and let me do the best I can and let me just get rights and let me learn for what I can do. So these is the article I'm bringing out on Stonewall Inn. All right. So, fuck, man, I hate when that happens. It's a lot here. I'm actually gonna do that. So, when I finish reading the article, while the TV pop back up, it says the mafia step in to reap the benefits to get around state regulations and prohibited homosexual people from being served alcoholic beverages. Mafioso, which is Fat Tony, operating Stonewall Inn in a private club, taking at his previous bar restaurant that he would not have to charge to sign in. So these are just people that's like, this article is about showing like the origins of how, or not necessarily the origins, like how it all started, like how the politics was back then, how there was laws, how the mafia, how you got the legal side of it, quote unquote. Then you got people who breaks the law, was against it as well. So you got like the government and you got citizens that's against the behaviors of homosexuality or that alternative lifestyle. So they're showing you how they was to discriminate against them. They was saying, hey, you are wrong or you're ill, they didn't want to support you, so forth and so on. All right, so in this article they talk about how some people could still get service. So the whole point of the Stonewall was the whole this feels like projection. Explain what you mean. This is the shield of David. It's the King David's name in Hebrew, and it's just his signet, and the king's representation of Israel. All right. So I'll just ask him some questions on TikTok. So we finished reading on this article about the Stonewall. It says transgender people were occasionally customers, but in the area they self-identified as drag queens or transvestites, not transgenders. And they rarely dressed in full garb, mindful not just the street harassment, but the law that forbade wearing more than 3 pieces of clothing associated with the opposite sex. It says, at first, it was just a gay man's bar, and they didn't allow no women in it. Now, ain't that something? Who gonna go to a bar and can't no women come? I don't know about all that now. What's up with this? And so it says, and they started to allow women in, and then a drag queen said, yes.
When are we going to go to the park?
I'll let you know. Go back and teach in class. All right. So now I'm going to get into it. I'm just showing you just a little bit of history about how it all started. So now I'm going to get into how it started. It says, in the late 1960s, the gay rights movement was building momentum across the United States. Local chapters of the Mattachine Society, which started in the 1950s, provided a community for gay men and forums for public disclosure. The Daughters of the Bilitis started in 1955, offer similar support for women. So here it is. You got in the 1950s, you got certain organizations that bring out or want to show that they'll support this lifestyle. Now, I might sound like I'm jumping back and forth, but bear with me. Also in the 1940s, late 1940s, early 50s, the DSM. The DSM is for Diagnostic Statistical Manual. That is like the Bible book for mental illness. And they had classified homosexuality as a mental illness. Now, it's considered a mental illness. Then at the same time, you got different groups that support certain homosexual behaviors for women and certain behaviors for men. And then you got like the forums that I just brought up earlier in this article. The point I'm bringing out is that now you see like a conflict of interest. You have doctors that saying that this type of behavior is a mental illness. Then you got those who want to live this mental illness. Then you got laws against this mental illness. Then you got people who want to rebel against this mental illness. So, and you mentally ill because according to the DSM-1 and before it was taken out in the DSM-2 or 3, it was labeled as a mental illness. Now the question, Forever Fango, the question you should ask is, when they take it out of the DSM, why did they take it out? Which I'm going to talk about it briefly, but they didn't use any scientific facts as to why. They just voted to take it out. The question is why. And I've already, maybe later on this month, I'll show you why they took it out or another reason why. But we have to ask those individuals what was the exact reason why they took it out. But it is not a natural behavior. So it's not something that's natural. All right. So I'm going to finish reading more on this article. As a matter of fact, if you could you turn it over to this TV, see what show? This knob right here, turn the camera over. Let's see how it looks. That's Bubba Shaw.
Nah, you can't really see it.
You can't really see it.
Oh, I can't.
Damn, fudge. All right, no sweat. No, so you can turn it back on if you could, Bubba Shaw. Baba Kasha means please in Hebrew. All right, so slacking for that YouTube and Facebook. I'm gonna definitely have to get somebody's computer where I can actually share my screen and I can actually read this article with me. But just bear with me while I read it for y'all. Like I said, I'm quoting my sources or whatnot. So, all right. Let's see. Israelite, not Jewish, Baba Kasha. Now that's more of a Yiddish for this Khazar. I'm speaking more of a Paleo-Hebrew. All right. So I'm gonna keep going. So it says, with the Stonewall riots, members of the LGBTQ community clashed with the police at Cooper's Donuts and Black Cat Tavern in Los Angeles. So now they're just talking about like how these riots or so-called riots was starting to spread about all throughout the United States. But it all started in New York. It says the Matchashin, New York held in police permitting police entrapments, but the police raids on bars and bathhouses continued in its spate of violence of homophobic attacks to put LGBTQ community on edge. It says on Tuesday, June 24th. Earlier I said that normally the Pride Month or week, it really started at the end, the last week of June, because this is when the raids really started. They made laws for entrapment, but they didn't stop the police officers from raiding inside these bars. So it says on the 24th of June, the police raided the Stonewall, rankling patrons who were tired of being harassed. Deputy Inspector Seymour Pine of the New York Police Department says he had returned Friday and had plans to tear up the bar and slap the owners with enough infractions to shut it down for good. Almost immediately, police encountered resistance. That's what Pine told them later. It says, shortly at midnight, Brian was walking down the street and a young man came to run and says they're raiding Stonewall. He joined the crowd gathering across the street in a small plaza. Officers wrestled with butch lesbians, what they call them, who was resisting arrest, and the crowd threw them down and put handcuffs on them, and they threw coins, and they threw bricks, and they threw bottles. So this right here is a picture on his head. It shows how the crowd attempts to impede police arrest outside the Stonewall Inn on June 28, 1969. So, what this happened, so here's how the whole riot is starting to essentially kick off. They made a law against for entrapment. Like the police can't say, oh, I believe you're suspect you to be LGBTQ and I'm going to arrest you. So what they did was they started to raid like their own bars, the Stonewall Inn. And the patrons of that Stonewall Inn say, you know, enough is enough. They locked on and say, we're not going to take this anymore. And they start to essentially like push back and rebel. Then you had people who wanted to come and assist the patrons of Stonewall or the homosexuals or the LGBTQ or whatever they was calling themselves back then. Now here's how the problem started. So when they did it in New York, they got wind of this in California. They got wind of this in Texas. They got wind of this in Georgia. They got wind of this in Florida. And then members of the alternative lifestyle all started to rise up. They said, hey, yeah, we don't like y'all mistreating us. You wouldn't like y'all singling us out. And they all basically like riot together. So I'll never read about what kept the so-called riots going. It says, words of the riots spread across the city the next morning. The first night drew 500 to 600 people, but estimated 2,000 show up the outside of every Saturday night bar. It says members of the crowd held hands in bold display of public affection. They chanted, gay power, we want freedom now. So, so this when y'all ask questions like, I know, right? Y'all ask questions like, so how did they get rights? It used to be illegal to be publicly living that type of lifestyle in the public. Yeah. That's why so many people used to hide it. Like it was frowned upon.
Yeah, that was up in the air. When exactly did it stop being illegal?
According to this started they started getting some rights like the late 60s. So it's around 68, 69, 70s. But of course since Barack Obama came in, they've gotten more. But around like the late 60s. They started getting more rights, so they're starting to be open. Now, they were still frowned upon. Like, it wasn't like they were just something like they would just do. They'd be happy to come out and talk about it. Like, no, they were still, like, shying away from it. Like, we all heard this term like growing up, like, hey, we suspect someone is suspect, but they ain't came out the closet. Like, I hope I ain't dating myself. You know, knowing like we see like little kids, especially little boys, if he has his jacket tied around his waist, that was one of the telltale signs like he might come out the closet if someone don't correct him now. Or if you just see him like he was so in tune with his mother, like he wanted to get nails done and he wanted to do makeup, he wanted to do hair. These are signs where people say, you know, if they don't put some masculine energy around him and, you know, show him how to be a man, he might want to be like that type of lifestyle. Hence, they get the term coming out the closet because if you wanted to be a part of their lifestyle and it was frowned upon, they hid it from you. Like they hid it from the earth. Like they hide who they wanted to be. All right. So that's how they get some of the terms of coming out the closet, and they was always hiding. Now, so what you hear is, what y'all can see is it says, we homosexuals plead with our people to please help maintain peaceful and quiet conduct on the streets of the village. Matachine. So that's just an organization that was supporting the Pride at that time. So that's just something they write, you know, doing stuff like that. So here, if I finish reading a little bit more about the origins of how the riots took off and they maintained. It says by Wednesday, protesters were back, inflamed by the media coverage of gay cheerleaders and Sunday F follies. News of the clashes had also spread to other leftist groups who saw an opportunity to align themselves with the insurgent movement. It says most of the people were arrested on the first night. It says the energy from the uprising manifested within weeks. Weeks later, Matachine, New York, led the Gay Power March from Washington Square Park to Stonewall that drew hundreds of people. So now you got people who lock arms because they live in a certain behavior, they got arrested. So now more people came out to support, and now they're marching. You know, everybody heard about Martin Luther King and them marching and all this other marching for civil rights. So now they're marching. All right, let's see what. All right. So now we got this is God said give you a list of $5 today. Well, give the teacher $5,000 then you get your $500. Don't you pay your tithes to the Most High? That's what you pay your tithes to ISUPK.com. That's what you should do for the TikTok zone. Pay your tithes. All right. Now I'm bringing all this out to show what I'm showing you how the so-called Pride Month how it kick-started today. And before Pride Month, there was still people with these alternative lifestyles, but how I'm showing you how they got some rights, some laws, some a little bit of what they would call justice, you know, a little bit of not as much discrimination, right? But here's the kicker. You hate on some, why do some women say Lizzo? Got some trolls in TikTok. But all right, so Pride. So what y'all think about Pride Month so far? Or what you know about it? Yeah. So basically, it's like, it'll be like, I don't know if you got any families, but I know I got like some cousins and I got aunties, uncles, not that I know of. So I had like relatives or friends like basically they just said like they want the right to be able to go to this bar and buy liquor, and they want the right to dress a certain way, and they want all these different rights to live their lifestyle or to live out that type of behavior. And then when the police started to raid them, they said, you know, we're going to stand together. As they gained steam, this was just something that community of people was doing. It wasn't like it's going to be supported like an actual holiday. You know what I'm saying? But 30 years later, Bill Clinton recognized it and gave them a month. All right. So I'm going to read a little more on this. It is. I'm done on this one. So that's the stone roll. Let me go up into. I really want to get in and show y'all the other information about it and why it's big business. You know, because later on I might break down every class I teach. That y'all will later learn that something isn't about that because they genuinely care about someone's feelings. It's all about big business in America. It's big business, and it's keeping population numbers down. It's about controlling your number one resource. The number one resource is, don't let nobody tell you that it's oil. Don't let nobody tell you that it's to the powers that be, of course. Don't let nobody tell you that it's land or it's food or it's diamonds or it's money. The number one resource is humans. So before you get the oil, you gotta have somebody go and get it for you. Before you get your food, you gotta have somebody grow it for you. You gotta have somebody go unalive it for you, go hunt it for you, cook it for you, prepare it for you. So the number one resource to the powers that be is humans. Humans are your number one resources. So they're starting this whole thing about not enough space, not enough food, or whatever. So that's just something for them to like use what they call like population control, which y'all haven't heard about that. They definitely do it in America. They most definitely do it because of how the other foods they feed is it's illegal in so many other countries because how cancerous or how acidic it is to the human body. But it's just another article about the LGBTQ, the Stonewall era from 1966 to 1969. Let's see, this is not what I really want, but this is more information about the Stonewall Uprising. This is another uprising from guys. This is another article from the Library of Congress. So, you know, we're going to just show you our sources. I'm just saying what I got my sources from. Y'all can actually go back and look at it yourselves. For everybody that's watching online. All right. Don't need that. Okay. Now I want to talk about the DSM. This is what I really wanted to talk about. I'm going to the DSM, and then I'm going to go diagnose. So let me give y'all just a few scriptures. So, of course, I can't leave y'all without any scriptures, so let me go and get into some scriptures real quick. So here in the Israelite School of UPK, we teach the laws, statutes, commandments, and how we're supposed to live our lives. If you're not a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, you can do whatever the hell you want. But if you are a so-called Black, Hispanic, or First Nation, rather, there's a reason why we get, there's a reason why we're in last. There's a reason why we're always falling ill to certain lifestyles. There's a reason why we're always in the detriment that we're in today, because we don't obey God's laws. And if you did not know it was his laws, you still ignorant of the law, you know, once you hear it, you're still supposed to do better. So the reason why we suffer is because these laws was given to us. It was not given to any other nation of people. It was not given to any other race of people, but unto God's people. So we see how members of the Blacks, Hispanics, and Americans community, how they might live the type of behavior, the lifestyle, why they get punished more, or why things are more detriment more towards them. It is because these laws was given to us, and there's a penalty for it. So here's coming the scripture. We're going to go to the book of Leviticus. Let's go to the 18th chapter, verse 22. Y'all got it? I need a sword. Another Bible. Y'all got it? Okay, no sweat. Let's see where I'm at. Yeah, Leviticus 18, chapter 18, verse 22. Get that. I'm gonna do that with y'all. All right, so Pride Month. So we basically got like a general understanding of the general basics about Pride Month, how it all started, which is basically about happy bars. Leviticus 18 and 22, happy bars, right? You want to read it?
22.
Yeah, chapter 18, verse 22.
Leviticus chapter 18, verse 22. Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind.
All right, so it says, thou shalt not lie. Does that mean like to go to sleep too? Like, what do you mean? What they think that lie means?
Have sex.
There we go. It says, because it gave you an example. Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. Like, the way you sleep with your woman, you should not sleep with a man. All right, so right here it's telling you a clear distinction, like you cannot have any intercourse, any sexual relations with the same sex. The Bible is clearly against that. It's saying it right here, clear as day, thou shalt not lie with mankind as a womankind. What's the rest of on that scripture?
It is an abomination.
It is an abomination. All right. It is an abomination. So it is something that the Lord detests. It's something that the Lord despises. He hates. So why is it that you can have someone that's a part of that alternative lifestyle and go to church and say it's okay to be a part of this lifestyle? When they in their very own Bible, it says you're not supposed to partake inside this lifestyle. So here's the issue that we have. We have an issue that people doesn't really want to talk about inside the church or inside the Bible. Leviticus 18:22 says you are not allowed to have sexual intercourse with the same sex. That's it. That's all. You cannot do it. And for those of y'all who don't know, if y'all notice, LGBTQ, it stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. And I believe the Q is queer now. All right, now I forget what the IA stands for and the plus. I believe plus is adding more stuff, but here's why that's so bad. Because it does not stop with liking the same sex or you identify as the opposite sex. It's going to now open up the door for child pedophilia and bestiality. If you could read the next verse, read verse 23. Because this how masterful the Most High is, because he see where things is going, and you think like, why you got to tell somebody not to do this? Now because he's the Most High is the highest ranking. He's a tactician. He knows it all. He sees what's going to come, and then he's gonna have to make this like, hey, don't do this right here. Go ahead and read 23 for me, Barbara Shah.
Leviticus chapter 18, verse 23. Neither shalt thou lie with any beast.
Any who?
Any beast.
Any what?
Any beast.
A beast is something like what? Like a horse, a wolf, a dog. Like it says not lie with what now? One more time.
Any beast.
To what? Keep going.
Defile thyself therewith.
Okay, so the Lord is telling you, like, not only that you cannot have sexual relations with the same sex, guess what else you can't sleep with? An animal. And who do we know is sleeping with animals today? I mean, can you imagine this? Like, this was going on in the earth. Like, this was written thousands of years ago. They're telling people you can't sleep with chickens, you can't have sex with pigs, you can't go get that horse, you can't go lay with that cow. You know, don't let the dog lick all in your lips and kiss you on the face. Being intimate with your dogs. You understand? So here right now, this is what the Most High is telling our people what not to do. Because this is an abomination. You'll be defiled. And we all heard of people having intercourse with animals. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I heard something like that.
Man, it is growing. It is growing. And have you heard about NAMBLA? I might need to pull up NAMBLA.
No.
Oh, man. Oh, shucks. I might make that for another class. NAMBLA is an acronym for the North American Association for Man and Boy Love.
Yeah, I remember hearing something about that.
Yes, I believe it started in Canada. And it's basically like grown men, older men that says they prefer for their sexual partner to be young boys. Young boy as in like 8 to like 12 years of age. And you know, they love to hold their hands and walk to the park with them. All right. So let me read some of these comments real quick. Is this a new Black Panther? No. We're not the new Black Panther. We are the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. All right. Justin, big. Thank you, Justin. She said you actually agree with me on this one. It's good. It's good. You know, I'm just bringing out the truth according to these scriptures. That's all. You say you agree with me, but you agree with the Most High. You understand? No, not Jewish, just a Jew. All right, just Israelite to be exact, from the tribe of Judah. All right, so Zach, just say the word. Yeah, Zach, just say the word. Just say the word. All right, don't be shy. Don't be afraid. These are number TikTok fingers. All right, so what we got is you can't sleep with your same sex. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it according to the Most High's laws. All right, and you can't sleep with animals. So y'all see people, they let the dog lick all in their mouth, and you know they let that little pink stuff come out, and they want to lay with it. No, all that is wickedness. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta stay away from that. All right, so let's go over 2 chapters. Go to Leviticus 20 and 13. So I'm just gonna just a few scriptures I'm gonna bring out. I ain't gonna bombard y'all with a whole bunch of scriptures, because some of our people might say like, well, that's just one scripture, and it might make it mean something else. And they might think, well, he ain't mean it like that. He mean like to go to sleep with. He ain't mean about intercourse. I'm just going to show you how the Bible reiterates throughout the whole Bible, Old, Apocrypha, and New. You cannot live this type of lifestyle, this type of behavior. Let's see, what's the question? Let's see. Again, the questions, let's see what we got here on TikTok. What's your IQ? My IQ is 135 for the GME D133. How I know because I actually took an IQ test. You should look at what the IQ test being high, what it actually means. If you're talking to it start with a G. See if you can figure it out. Are you saying y'all were the first Jews? No, I'm saying we are the Israelites according to the Bible. Not necessarily, not the first, but we are saying we are the true Jews based on ethnicity and not through conversion. I mean, like we belong to the bloodline and not a philosophy or a doctrine or a religious group. It is nationality. This is what we're born as an Israelite, not through conversion. Whether you believe it or not, the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Americans are Jews based on ethnicity and not through conversion. All right. No, don't want to be Jewish. Ish means to be like. Ish means to be like. So if I say a car is green, if say a car looks bluish, it doesn't make it blue. No, it does not make it blue. It means it looked like it could be blue, but it actually could be like a black. It has like a blue tint to it, or it looked like a variation of that color. Bluish means to be like. Jewish means to be like. So I'm not. I keep the Sabbath. I follow the Bible. I read all of it. Hood Jew. No, I'm not a hood Jew. Just an Israelite, man, living in hell. All right. Who do you really think? I'm actually an Israelite, man. I can actually prove it according to the Bible. All right. For the deals 3 or 5, just prove that the Israelites were never black. All right, that's all you got to do. What is the story at? All right. So just prove that we're not. All right. You say we're not, just show that we're not. All right. So we'll go to Leviticus, the 20th chapter. We're going to go down to verse 13.
Leviticus chapter 20, verse 13. If a man also lie with mankind, as he lied with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination.
So right here, it's reiterating, in case for some of these dum-dums out here say, well, no, that's not what it meant. 2 chapters up, it says, if he lay with another man, if he lays with a man, the same way a man would naturally lay with a woman, both of them has committed. Like, no, both of y'all got to go. It's an abomination. So the Bible is reiterating that you cannot have these type of escapades, these type of relations with the same gender. The Bible is clearly speaking against that. You cannot live this type of alternative lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
They shall surely be put to death.
Oh, Lord have mercy. This is not going to be done by our hands, of course. This is going to be done by the Most High. And however the Most High see fit, meaning like whether it be through STD, whether it be through some type of cancer, or whether it be any way he will unalive anybody. It's how the Most High sees fit. You know what I'm saying? And so whatever the Most High sees fit, that's what's going to happen. All right. Drop that. Give me Psalms 81 and 12. So I'm just going to keep going out throughout these scriptures to show our people that this was something that was put onto us. This is something that they wanted us to do for a very long time. And here in the Bible, it's written thousands of years ago. This time with Moses, though we're talking about like over 6,000 years ago, that we had to deal with this alternative lifestyle. So I could just break down the steamrolling point is that when a game like Head of Steam and it became normal amongst different origins of people, cultures of people, whether it be like amongst the Americans, amongst the Romans, amongst the Egyptians or the Samaritans, so forth and so on. Oops, like let me get that with y'all. I didn't even turn my sword yet. I say Psalms what 81 and 12. All right, go ahead and read that. For sure.
Psalms chapter 81, verse 12. So I gave them up unto their own hearts.
So basically what it's saying is, this is the Most High's talking, I gave them up to their own hearts. Does anybody know what that means, like their own hearts?
Their own love.
That's one way. But usually the word heart in the Bible is synonymous with mind. It's usually like your mind. Like people just say like something that you have, like you're always thinking about doing. Like they right now they might say, I love this so much because you have it on your mind all the time. You have a desire to do it all the time. So it says I gave them up to their own hearts, like their own mind. I mean, like this is something that you want to do, so I'm gonna let you do it. But I'm gonna show you that it's a punishment in the previous chapter that we read, or the previous book we read, which is in Leviticus. All right, so keep going.
It says lust. And they walked into their own counsel. Verse 13.
Go on, keep going.
Oh, that my people have hearkened unto me, and Israel had walked in my ways.
So what the Most High saying, and especially in the previous verse, he said, I gave them to their own hearts and their own counsel, meaning like, okay, since y'all want to do what y'all want to do and you're going to make your own decisions on it, when you make your decisions, don't call me. Or when I show you what I was going to do to you in the previous book in Leviticus, all right, and they start saying, oh man, we're getting punished for real. Like, don't call me now. So this one Most High said, I let y'all have it. Since y'all want to go out and be bad, go ahead and be bad. And let me show you what's out there. You went out there and be bad, and you caught AIDS. You went out to be bad, and you got herpes. You went out to be bad, now you got monkeypox. Or whatever plague was out there at the time when this was written, when it was given to the children of Israel. All right? It says the Bible's not evidence, it's a fairy tale. Oh, there's plenty of evidence in this body. For the will, one proof is to go to Deuteronomy 28th chapter and read verse 68. That's your proof right there. There's slavery in the Bible. The transatlantic slave trade right there. 28:68. Right there. All right, so I'll keep going. Well, you can, for the Acura race, you can be that. Good for you. I'm an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? And I'm here to teach our people, the Lord's chosen people, the 12 tribes of the house of Israel, to come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. And we got to separate ourselves from all heathens, from all oppressors, from all of the races. infractions of people to live our own lifestyle, to live our lives according to the Bible. All right. Do you believe in free will? In definition, yes, but according to the Bible, if you are an Israelite, there's no such thing as free will because of the punishment that comes behind it. Because of the punishment. Do you think God knows it all? Yeah, the Most High knows all. And I'll give you an example. Any good father usually know if their child is going to be good or to be quote unquote bad. They know which child is going to hold their likeness up into good standards, or they'll be let down. So just like any good parent knows their child, the Most High knows his children, the children of Israel. All right. If there was a path A and path B, and God knew you would pick path A, could you pick path B? So when you talking about paths, I just use the comparison to the laws. The law A, the one got the law. Either you follow the law or you don't. Whether you don't follow the law, there is a punishment. It's what they call curses in the Bible. If you break the law, there's a punishment for it. If you keep the law, you will have what they call the blessings. And that's all it is. So you can say you have a choice to choose, but what choice is it if you make the wrong decision and you get punished? So does it mean you really got a free choice? Like, if free choice means that you do something and there's no consequence behind it, you just chose to do it. That's the terminology of how people think of free will. So I'm going to ask a question on here as I'm speaking, as I'm teaching. But if you do something for yourself and you get punished for it, like, how much really free will is it if you still get punished for it? So we're gonna go. Speaking of Deuteronomy, let's go to Deuteronomy. Let's go to Deuteronomy 22:5. All right. God lets heaven and hell is a condition. It's not someone you have to be unalive to go to. That's a common misnomer that's taught by the Christian church, and I can tell you where they get that from. They got their philosophy of heaven and hell from what they call Dante's Inferno. And it's like 3 stanzas about a guy that in love with some girl he never could get. But I'll break it down another class. All right. So right here we saw that the Most High says you cannot live this type of lifestyle. You cannot live this type of behavior. Then he says, okay, you know what? Since y'all want to do this, I'm gonna let y'all do it. So when I come up behind you with these plagues, whether it was a plague in the year 5, or it was a plague in the 4th dynasty, or the plague in the year 2000 or year 2010, 2020, the Most High said, you know what, since you want to do that, here's the penalty for it. So a lot of people think like now they just up and they're living their lives and they're just going about their merry way. All right, so here's the scripture. Let's get to Deuteronomy, the 22nd chapter, verse 5. Let me get that with y'all. 22:5. All right. So there's a word we use to ask our brothers if they're there. When the sisters in here, I'll tell you the word for the sisters. So the word ak means brother. It's single in Hebrew. And when it's more than one brother, we say akiyim. Yeah. So all akiyim got it. Like all brothers got this. I got the verses ready. I mean, like we all on the same page reading this. Pretty good. Read this Bible, this verse. Now, here, what I'm about to get into, not only is the Most High against the alternative lifestyle or that behavior, he's also against dressing like them. So now we're going to talk about, okay, you got to dress a certain way. Now people was thinking like, okay, now I got to, not only can I not be this alternative lifestyle, hell, you can't even dress like them. You know what I'm saying? Like the Most High is so cutthroat with it. All right. All right, go ahead. Whoever got it, go ahead and read it.
Deuteronomy 22:5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man. Neither.
So I said again. Slow it down. We just gotta break this on down. It says what now?
The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
So it says a woman cannot wear which what pertains to a man. Now I know some women, based on some religious factions, they say like, you know, women can't wear pants because men wear pants, so therefore they have to wear like a skirt or a dress year round. That's not what the Bible's talking about. When it says like pertaining to a man, like there are women pants, there are women's shirts, there are women's shoes, there are also women hats and women's scarves, and what else belongs to a woman? You know, women purses, and women bill folders. You know, there's some stuff that's made for women. You catch a brother out here wearing some a women's blouse. I got a rapper like Young Thug. That right there. No, you can't do that. And he don't give a damn if you're a heterosexual man or not. If it's made for a woman to wear, let it be for that woman. Like, why you got a man wearing a dress for a t-shirt? Or what's a Kid Cudi? Give him some more names y'all can think about. Who else been doing it? Y'all young, y'all hip. Who else is oh,
Lil Uzi Vert.
Uzi Vert. I was just gonna say it. And what was his alternative name? He came up with this name like he was like his alternative ego is a girl.
What?
Oh, come on. Y'all didn't know that about Lil Uzi? Oh, Lil Uzi, Nas X, y'all, come on. Y'all, I don't. Man, I talk about that. He's later on in the month, Lil Uzi Vert. Yeah, so wearing these clothes that pertain to a man, you should not be wearing it for a woman. All right, keep going.
Neither shall a man put on a woman's garment.
All right, so we got a women. So when I said, let me get back to the woman real quick. Women. Now, I know men got some nice drip. Y'all like the way the jersey look on it. Y'all like the way these Nikes look on it. These Air Force Ones. Now they made it unisex and they made a version for women now. So it's fine, whatever. But the point is, I know men got some nice drip. But listen, sisters, like, hey, if that's a man's pants and man's shoes and man's underwear, let him have his underwear. They got something made for you in your shape. They complement your body well. Now, men got some nice drip, but boy, is women's gear. It is very goodness. Like, I want to see a woman dressed like a woman. Like a woman dressed like me, they don't look that appealing. Like if I went up to the gas station and bought a t-shirt for men and she on the same t-shirt, it don't look that good. It look better if hers was a woman's t-shirt. Why? Because it fits her shape, it fits her curves, and it looks feminine. I want my woman to be feminine. I don't want my woman to be masculine like me. I don't want a me. I want something the opposite of me. Like I want a woman. You understand? So I want my women to look and feel like women. I want them to dress like a woman. Now, granted, they got sports now for women, and people watch it. They do sometimes they don't. But like, you know, they got professional sports like in basketball. You know, I don't really care to watch that. I would prefer to watch gymnastics, like to do some backflips and splits and stuff. I watch that. Well, they got what's some other female sports they got? I can't think of none outside. Maybe track and field. You say track and field and swimming. I look at some swimming sometimes, but you know, I prefer it to be something just feminine. I like cheerleading. I like the maiden. Show my age now. I like majorettes. Yeah, let them do the majorettes. Let them go and cheer and stomp, and you know, they can do the march, be the flag girls, you know, stuff like that. Be a part of the band. But I definitely don't see no woman playing no football. No, flag football maybe. But you know, the point is that society or the powers that be is pushing the agenda to blur the lines. What the Most High said not to do, they're saying you can. So now they're encouraging women to dress like men. When I say dress like men, I mean also do what men do. So for an example, if you look at a police officer, right, that is a standard uniform for a man, from his pants up to his shirt. And who has on that same exact uniform? Women. They didn't tailor to a woman. They didn't give her like no women pants, you know, that's fit for like her shape. How I know what I'm saying is true? Because they got men's suits and they got women's suits. They got a women's jacket that's tailored to her body, and they got women's pants that's tailored to her body. They don't do that for women in the military and not in the police force. So they got women looking exactly like men. They got women dressing exactly like men. One, our women should not be in the police force. They should not be in the military. Let the men go out and fight and protect themselves and enforce the law. And let the women do some other good stuff that they're good at. Like, let's say, for example, like a little good lawyer. They love to argue, right? Let them be a good old lawyer. Let them be a good business CEO. Let them be a president of this company and crunch the numbers. Let them be a good auditor. They're good at finding and looking stuff, right? Let them be a good private investigator. Let them go out and spy with their cameras and watch stuff. Like, let the war be for the men, because this is some hard lifestyle that some women are just not equipped to build for. All right. What have blacks succeeded in the civilized country in the last 2 years? We built America. That's what we succeeded at. But don't work. Jamar Dupree, what is your nationality? Jamar Dupree, what is your nationality? What's your race? Never making no master happy. All right. All right. So the point is that I'm bringing out is that there are clothes that's tailor-made for women, and there's clothes that's tailor-made for men. Then on top of that, all right. So Jamar, where have blacks succeeded in a civilized country in the last? What do you mean how we succeeded? Like, if you look at the hell that we've been through in America, we're still here. And they're still finding more ways to unalive us. They're still finding more ways to make us get rid of our babies. They're still putting narcotics into our community. So we have succeeded by building this country. And no matter all the hell we've been through, we still find a way to survive in this country. And we built this country but get no credit for it. A lot of the inventions that you utilize today was because of black people. So for when you're going somewhere, not yet, Shemaim, okay? All right. It says, so when you look at, like, GPS was created by a black woman. I forget her name, but I'll look it up for you in just a second. But so you said, why isn't Africa successful as North America? One, we're not Africans. All right, we're Israelites. All right, so we're not Africans. All right, so back to the topic of the class. There's uniforms made for women and for the men. I don't know what man have these big broad shoulders want to wear a low cut V-neck shirt. You understand? So we got men it's not even tasteful either. I mean, it looks bad. Like, it looks terrible. It's not tasteful. So we gotta look into what the Most High is really saying here. Like, if you're a man, just like a man. Now, do y'all know where skinny jeans come from? So the thing with skinny jeans was, and this one of the things is very broad, like it's very broad to look into or pinpoint. But skinny jeans, you can contribute some of it to like some of those rockers, like in the 70s, where they'll wear like really, really tight jeans. Some of them decide, like, you know, they're like the gothic type, like they'll paint their nails and well, I ain't saying nothing bad about the earrings and because I got one, but like they'll paint their nails and all right, there we go. So they'll paint their nails, but one of them used to wear like women's pants. They just put on the women's pants because they like the very tight fit look, and it just gained steam. Okay, like they're wearing it like this. Why can other people wear it? Then you had like the rise of the metrosexual. Or how they look. They want everything to be tailored and fitted, and now they want everything to be tailored, fitted, and tight. So, hence you get the rise of skinny jeans. Now, skinny jeans is like, there's nothing wrong with wearing jeans that fit. Like I myself, I like the way skinny jeans fit. I just buy mine 4 sizes big. I like how the cut of it, how it sits on like on my ankles or something. So I like the cut of the skinny jeans, but instead of me buying it in a size 34, I buy it in like a 40. So I still got some room or whatever. I just like the style of it. Men skinny jeans. But that's how the skinny jeans come from. Like some punk rockers, they're wear women jeans because they like how tight it was. Now, then that was wrong. You know, you wearing stuff that pertains to a woman. So throughout the scriptures, it's telling you that you cannot wear what women wear. All right. Let me get let's go to Deuteronomy. Let's go to 23:17. I got just a few more scriptures for y'all. I ain't gonna keep y'all too long. All right. So, what's your thoughts about the cross-dressing? Did y'all know that you can't dress like a woman in the Bible? You knew that? Yeah. All right, solid. What about you, Warrior? You did Khan. Oh, there you go, Khan. Yeah, Most High Christ. So you can't dress like a woman. You can't dress like a man. All right. Now, there are certain words that we use biblically to describe certain behaviors. And now in this next verse we're about to read, chapter and verse we're about to read, we're going to show you what one of those words are. All right. So let's go to Deuteronomy 23:17.
Deuteronomy 23:17. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel.
All right, we all know what a whore is. There can't be a whore. You're sleeping out with multiple men and, you know what I'm saying, doing all kind of nastiness stuff. Keep going.
Nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel.
A sodomite is used for man and man love. That's what the biblical term for that amongst the men. Sodomite. So we hear say, hey, look at these sodomites. We telling people like you got to come outside of that behavior. You got to come outside of that lifestyle. For the YT some scumbag. No, I'm not afraid of any people of the alternative lifestyle or the LGBTQ community. And no, I don't want equality. I want rulership. What the Most High's promised to choose in Israel. I don't want to be equal to you. I want to be in rulership. I want to be the ones who's making like the high decisions. All right. All right. So here we go. Man, talk about someone else. Nobody cares about those people. Well, it's important to teach our people because this is so-called Pride Month, and we're talking about the origins of how Pride Month started and why it's still relevant today and how we should keep the God's laws, statutes, and commandments and to show how we're supposed to live according to this Bible. If you are a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, if you're not, you can do whatever the hell you want. Nobody cares about you or yours. But if you are so-called Black, Hispanic, now this Bible says that we have to live a certain lifestyle, a certain behavior. All right? So, but we're going to build up the Lord's 12 tribes of Israel. That's what we're building up. All right? So, what'd you say? All right. So here we go. So you can't be a sodomite according to the scriptures, right? That's what a sodomite is. And the Lord just reiterating throughout the whole entire Bible. You cannot be a sodomite. Let me we're gonna go to the New Testament. All right, let's go to 1 Corinthians 14:33. 1 Corinthians 14:33. First Corinthians 14:33. Let me get that with y'all. Alright, I think I'm there. All right, so now we got what the Bible is talking about. We got LGBTQ, we got alternative lifestyle, we got the Stonewall Uprising, we got cross-dressing, and it's not just for. I've heard this, and I'm trying to understand the psychology behind it, but I want to interview a heterosexual man, as he says, or why he dresses like drag. There are some so-called heterosexual men who who are drag queens. They do it just for the money. But I want to interview one and just try to understand like their mindset of that. All right, check on everybody, make sure they got it.
How you say it for most people?
Akim. This for multiple men. So it's like, Akim got it.
Akim got it.
Come.
1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33. For God is not the author of confusion.
He's not the what?
The author of confusion.
It's telling you right here, the Most High saying he don't confuse nobody. He wants you to know where he comes from, clear as day. As you know, so he wants you to understand, like from the get-go, he ain't trying to confuse you. He ain't trying to hoodwink you. He wants you to understand this clear because he wants you to be on one side, either yes or no. Keep going.
But of peace, as in all churches of the saints.
So it says the Most High is not the author of confusion. If you read this Bible and you get confused, one, he's not trying to confuse you. You just don't understand. Two, and this is probably the most important thing about it. It is in the Bible. It says that sometimes the Most High don't want certain people. Like some things are written inside of like allegories. Some of them are analogies and metaphors. But not all people can understand this Bible. Like you have to be taught this Bible. Like, for example, if you go read a chemistry book, right, and you don't understand chemistry book, did the person who wrote the book, did they try to confuse you? No, that means you just wasn't taught. So if anytime you read something and you don't understand, don't blame what you're reading. Just get the proper understanding. Just get taught the book. Like, I don't see how anybody can pick up a chemistry book, read it from front to back, and then say they're chemists. Who does that? Nobody. No, you got to be taught these scriptures, all right? All right, cool. Original people. For the Chris, explain what you mean by original people, and what does it have to do to blacks, Hispanics, and the Americans in America today, or the original people? All right. So, not confused. You know what I'm saying? So that's just something simple right there to show like, hey, why people don't understand. If they don't understand, it's just because maybe the Most High don't want them to understand, or they choose not to. But nothing about this Bible is confusing. It's all what we need to do. All right, it's all in there. So we're gonna drop that. Let's go back about 6 verses. Written out. 8. Let's go back to 1 Corinthians 6 and 9. We'll go back to a few chapters. We'll go back to 6 and 9. So we're going to talk about who gets inside the kingdom of heaven. We're going to talk about how you're supposed to live, so forth and so on. And I'm going to bring out one more article. I might have to bring it back for the next class, but I got a ton of articles. I got a ton of articles show how they took it out to DSM-2. And then I want to try to find the articles of the head of the DSM-2. I'm trying to find like his article of him saying why they chose to take it out. All right, when they depopularize it. All right, go ahead and call it out.
1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 9. Now ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God.
So anybody's been unrighteous, man, what does it mean righteous? Like if you're not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, you've been an unrighteous person. You've been a lawbreaker. You've been a sinner. These are what the unrighteous are. So when you got some of those alternative lifestyle people, and I hear this said all the time, God knows my heart. He know how much I battle this. He know my heart. Now, if you're unrighteous, what's going to happen?
You shall not inherit the kingdom of God.
Keep going.
Be not deceived, neither fornicators.
So right now he said the unrighteous not going in, but he gonna break it down. Who else is unrighteous? Since it sounds so vague to some of people who want to basically lump in certain words. He says, not what? Fornicators, keep going.
Nor idolaters, nor adulterers.
Adulterers. All right, keep going.
nor effeminate.
Effeminate. Now, when he talk about effeminate, he talking about effeminate men. If you are a man and you are just, what word? How can I say this? Let's just get the definition for it, because I just want to get the definition for it. Effeminate. It says, with reference to a man having characteristics and ways of behaving traditionally associated with women and regarded as inappropriate for men. So you up here acting like a woman. Effeminate man. So if you're a man and you want to, what they be saying, girl bye, and they got their wrist broke, you know what I'm saying, and girlfriend this, and they go out with the girls, and he might wear a little mascara and get some eyelashes and win and sew-ins, or they got a new word for it. They got another word for it, called metrosexual. These are effeminate men. You know what I'm saying? It says, keep going, the effeminate men can't make it.
Nor abusers of themselves with mankind.
Keep going.
Verse 10, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers.
Revilers, keep going.
Nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of God.
So right there, they just ran down a list of the unrighteous. And what I wanted to focus on, for the simple fact of the title of this class, is about the origins of pride and how it relates to the scriptures. You cannot be an effeminate. No effeminate man. Not sorry. Now, you're a man, be a man, speak your voice like a man. Have you ever noticed this? And it's down to the psychology of things. Like, I'm in nursing school for psychology. I'm going to be a nurse on the psychiatric side. So there's a reason, I don't know if you noticed or not. Have you ever wondered why you have effeminate men or alternative lifestyle men, when they're around women, why they change their voice to make it sound so high pitched? Have you ever noticed that? Like, why all happy men have a high pitched voice? Well, normally men's voice have bass in it. Anybody want to take a crack at it? It's all right.
They feel at home.
He trying to match energy.
Match energy. I like that. Yeah. He trying to match some energy. Okay. Trying to match some energy. One, women understands authority. And if you got a man that's round, even though he's being effeminate, if he speaks to her in his regular voice, he will see that he understands that she recognizes that authority and she might rebel against it. So therefore, he changes his voice. So that way, he takes out the bass, he takes out the authority, he takes out the masculine out of it. That's why they get the, I don't even want to do it, but they get to saying the words like girl bye, and he get a high pitched voice. You know what I'm saying? They make it very high pitched, you know what I'm saying, to sound like a woman, to take away all masculinity out of it, to take away all authority out of it. So therefore, you got two men. You got heterosexual, and you have a alternative lifestyle. If one calls one woman a female dog, they got the bass in his voice, she's upset. When the effeminate man calls her one, why she's not upset? Because there's no masculinity in it, there's no authority in it now, because he changed up the tone of his voice. So, all right, so that's why I wanted to bring it out to show that we have a lot going on with that. All right, for heaven's going back, I got two more scriptures. I'm going to let y'all get out of here and keep y'all too long. Let's go to Deuteronomy 30 and 15. I'm going to go back. I probably should stay up here, but, going to these scriptures, kind of like go back and forth.
You Deuteronomy, right?
Yeah, Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 15. And let me check on some of these questions in this TikTok. The fundraising maestro. So absolutely, the Edomites, who are our oppressors, are the devil that the Bible speaks of. And just to be clear, when I say devil, I mean just the deceiver. That's all it means. Not nothing spooky like some man with red skin and a pitchfork and horns. They're just the devil. They're the biggest deceiver on planet Earth. They've taken everybody's identity. They pose themselves as friends and harm people. Just take American history, or what they did to Native Americans. They deceived them to the point like the Native Americans called them the pale skin, snake tongue, or fork tongue. Like they just deceive people. They come in with policies and they rape people's lands. They rob their lands. They enforce policy, they enforce laws of what they want them to do when it's not a decision that they make on their own. So of course, Mr. and Mrs. Dwight, man, woman, and child, is the devil that the Bible speaks of. That's all. This is the biggest deceiver. That's all. And look who's in charge of the earth today. You might mention other countries, but to the children of Israel, they're all children of Edom. So they are the ones who are in charge of the earth. They're the ones who's destroying the earth. Just ask the birds. Just ask the fishes. Just ask the cattle. Just ask the deer. Everything is just dropping unalive. Ask the ozone layer. Like, who's in charge of the earth? Look at all the plastic that's going on the earth, how it's detrimental towards, like, creatures of the sea. So there's just one deceiver. There's many different deceivers, but the biggest one, numero uno, is the children of Edom, the ones who rule the earth today. So absolutely, they are the devil that the Bible speaks of. The Bible speaks about one race in particular. In particular, how they're going, or a couple of them rather, but in particular, he's going to rule the earth, and he's the one that's wicked. You read that in the book of Job. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked, and they deceive the whole world. You got people thinking they're Israelites, but not. You got people thinking that we are no good people. You got people thinking that they have the right to unalive their babies. And that's just one race that's in charge that's pushing this agenda. Tell me not, have you not known a deceiver? For the Latha, or whatever, I forgot to see your name. I am not anti-Semitic, I am Semitic. For those y'all don't know, if you look at the line of Semitic, it does not belong to European. Come on. Dang. They done remove me again. Oh. Damn. Yeah.
That means you're going to be banned by tomorrow.
Man, you know, I ain't say nothing. I ain't even say no names. I ain't say white people. I say oppressors. I say Edom. Damn, man, they always get me like that. Dang, they didn't even tell me what I said. This is how you anti-Semitic. I'm not anti-Semitic. I am Semitic. Oh, got some more followers though. But all right, don't sweat. We're gonna get ready to finish these last two scriptures. What we at? Deuteronomy 30 and 15. What's that? 30 and 15? I thought I did. All right, come. Get to answer these damn questions, man. This all good. All right, go ahead. Whoever got it, call it out.
Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 15. See, I have set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil.
So when it says I set forth this day life and good, meaning like, okay, I said earlier, you don't really have a choice. But he's saying, look, you don't really have a choice, but I give you a choice. I'll give you the choice to choose what? Start the verse over.
I have set before thee this day life and good.
So I gave you a choice to choose life and good, man. Like, you can choose life by meaning like you can do these laws, statutes, and commandments. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna pull a precept for y'all. Y'all might not have it in y'all sources in the Apocrypha. You might need to grab one for you. But go ahead and finish reading.
And death and evil. Verse 16. So
death and evil. Death and evil meaning like you follow this and this is how you're gonna live. Let me find this scripture for y'all real quick. I was in Baruch. Take this Apocrypha for me. Handle this Apocrypha.
Hey, bro.
Baruch 4:1 is what we're gonna go to. Yeah, Baruch it's not in the Old and New Testament. It's in the Apocrypha.
Okay, I found it on my phone.
Okay, if you got it on your phone,
You want me to hand it talk to him?
yeah, whoever want to read it's fine.
You need to
I'm
talk
trying to.
You need to read it, I can't.
I'm talking about you got one of those in there too.
I got it right here in this book as well. If you want to read from the book as well.
I ain't
I got a sword for it right here. Put y'all on game about the Apocrypha as well. So I'm gonna start. I'm gonna read 30. The book I just called out. Then I'm gonna have you read Baruch 4:1. So 30 and 15 just says, and just reiterate. It says, "See, I have set before thee this day, life and good." So when I say you don't really have a choice, most I said, since you want a choice, I let you choose. Life is good, and right after it says, and death and evil. So you got two choices. You got to choose to live or you choose to die. So how we know how you choose life? Go ahead and read Baruch 4:1.
This is the book of the commandments of God.
It says the commandments of God. Commands consist of keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay, like here's what you can and cannot do. Keep going.
And the law that endure forever. All they that keep it shall come to life.
Oh, all those who keep this law shall come to life. Keep going.
But such as leave it shall die.
So if you don't follow these laws, what's gonna happen?
You're gonna die.
You're going to die. So what Deuteronomy says is, you think you got a choice, okay, no sweat. You want your free will, no sweat. If you want to live, keep my laws. If you want to die, don't break my laws. So it's not by accident that we're seeing at an alarming rate, which I'm gonna bring out these statistics about this later on during this month, about how you see more and more violence happen inside of homosexual communities. You're seeing more of that happen amongst them. You see all the domestic violence happen amongst them. You're seeing more STDs happen amongst them. You see a lot more violence. So don't think that when y'all see something like the typical like shootouts in Chicago or Memphis, or you might see that somebody that died due to violence or black on black crime, don't think that a nice percentage of them was alternative lifestyle folks. And when I say that, it's not just for them. It's like for drug dealers, it's for pedophiles, it's for whoremongers, like a man sleeping with another man's woman's cheating on her husband, like all that something is looped up in there. Or those who just don't believe, thinking they can just eat pork and be happy or get it how they live. So these scriptures is showing our people that if you think you got a choice, no sweat. You want to live, keep my laws. If you don't, you die. And these are just precepts to show how the Bible always says you really don't have a choice. I mean, you do, but who chooses to die? No, man, I'm trying to live forever. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to live forever. But if you don't follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, this is what's going to evidently happen. And I also got more scriptures. Some people be like, well, what if they live a long life and all the other stuff? Like the scriptures talks about that as well. If I need to pull it up for y'all, just let me know. I put that scripture out too to show that the wicked grow old, but that doesn't mean that don't mean they're going to escape justice or punishment. All right. Anybody got any more questions before I end the class?
Can you give me that verse?
Which verse?
The one you just had, the wicked grow old.
Oh yeah. Let's see, wicked grow old. Let's go to the New Testament, Corinthians. Give me 1 second for I believe it's gonna be Corinthians. Corinthians 5 and 8. Oh, it's not 5 and 8. Do I want to go to Joel? Punish. Let's go to punish. Now we're punishing for the evil. That's not it. Let me see. Hold up. Find my wicked one. Wicked and unrighteous. That's not it. Hold up. Dang it. I had it right here in my notes. Bear with me 1 second while I pull this up. Is it speedily? I think it's speed. Alright. Speedily. That's what I need to look for. Maybe it's unrighteous and speedily. Unrighteous and speedily. Testament. Damn it. Hold on, let me pull this up. I gotta go through all my notes. And I got like a 1,000 scriptures in here. Let me pull it up. I'm still looking for it. It's kind of paraphrasing. It's about the unrighteous and speedily. Judgment coming and speedily. Judgment and speed. Going unrighteous this. Damn. 1 second. Let's see. Escape judgment. It says, and thou hast made no man of judgment, this is things that I was saying, that I shall escape judgment. Immortality, the tradition of this. No. Let's see. Bear with me 1 second. Social media. Okay. Let's go to Job 21:7. Job 21:7. But I'm trying to find another one. So when I get Job 21:7, and I'm gonna give you another scripture. All right. One of y'all get me another person who already got the verse, the Bible verse I just called out.
Job 21:7.
All right. And the other one, give me Ecclesiastes 8:11. Give me 8 and 11. All right. Ecclesiastes, that's in the Old Testament. It should be right around Proverbs and Isaiah. Well, not far from them. All right. Whoever got the first verse, I call to read it for me.
Wherefore do the wicked live?
All right, call it out for me if you could, Barbara Shaw.
Sloppy.
Oh, you too wild. Just for the listening audience and still watching on social media.
This is the book of Job, chapter 21, verse 7.
All right.
Wherefore do the wicked live, become old, was it
Yeah.
Are mighty in power.
So this is Job, like he's really, it should be a question mark after that, right? So he's really like asking the question, like, man, hold on. They wicked and they growing old and they getting power. Same thing today. We see like our oppressors who do all kind of evilness, or we look at people in like the mob. We look at the Ku Klux Klan. We look at racist bigots. Like they grow old and they got power. That's what Job was asking the question. Like, man, how they growing old and they getting all this power? All right, keep going.
Their seed is established in their sight with them, and their offspring before their eyes. Keep going.
Yeah, go to 9. Read 9. 9 sounds gonna bring it all home. Read verse 9.
All right. This is Job chapter 21, verse 9. Their houses are safe from fear, neither is the rod of God upon them.
So this is like he's just asking the question, all right? So like he just keep going, like as you see that he's start talking about like, okay, they get like all their cattle, they get like all, like they're starting to profit. Drop down to verse 15.
This is the book of Job, chapter 21, verse 15. What is the Almighty that we should serve him? And what profit should we have if we pray unto him?
So this is Job, like this is when they started to ask the question, like, hey, I've been I see the wicked, like they growing old and they prospering and they getting all their money and they're living good and like, dang, most I'm following you, but I'm starting to lose it all. So that's when they just start asking the question. So now give me the next verse I asked for in Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes. So 8 and 11. Chapter 8, verse 11.
Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11.
So remember in Job, we just brought down how he brought out a question like, hey man, how come the wicked growing old? How come like they're prospering and they're living good? And you know what I'm saying? He wants to be like, well, why they not going through hell right now with me? All right.
Good.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore, the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil.
So now, they talking about, okay, well, hold on. This judgment that's supposed to be coming about, it didn't come quickly. But guess what? It came though, right? And when you start to worrying about what's going on with other people, it changes like your mind. You get to start second guessing, like, hold on, God, like, hold on. I saw that I've been keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, but like he's selling drugs and he up here. He got a nice mansion. He's living good. He's eating good. He got a nice house and nice cars. Now you get to second guessing. You get to question yourself, like, hold on. Maybe I can just sell a zip or two, a couple pounds, get a couple whams real quick, get that pack off. When you get to worrying about the evil that somebody else is doing, how they're prospering, it changes you from being righteous. Now you still in Job, right?
Right.
I want you to drop down to verse 22. Job 21:22. So I brought out, I hate to read the first verse to show the question, like, does the wicked grow old in power? And the other thing I'm going to read, okay, show that if you, just because they grow old, judgment's going to come. All right, go to
chapter 21, verse 22.
Yes, sir. And read it up to just read just 22 and 23.
22 and 23.
Yeah.
All right, this is the book of Job, chapter 21, verse 22. Shall any teach God knowledge?
He's asking the question.
Seeing he judges those that are high.
Mm-hmm. Like high in power. Like you got power, you got rank, like you living good, you got status. Keep going.
Book of Job, chapter 21, verse 23. One dieth in his full strength.
He said, hold on, he what?
One dieth in his full strength.
Man, this man was healthy. He was strong. He lifted weights. He ate good. He ate his vegetables. He was juicing. He did body cleanses. He had his sea moss. He did an H3O2 diet. He was a really healthy guy. He didn't smoke. He didn't drink or none of that. But what happened?
One dieth in his full strength.
Keep
being
going.
wholly at ease and quiet.
So earlier I had you read verse 7 says, where do the wicked live, become old, yea, or mighty in power? He asked the question. Yeah, they grow old. The wicked grow old too. But that does not mean judgment. They're going to escape judgment. And that's the main thing we got to focus on. They had to bring out in Ecclesiastes that nobody escapes judgment. Just because you grow old, like we don't know. Have you ever heard of like rich people being so depressed? They're like, man, I hate this that I'm a celebrity. Like we be on the outside looking at it like, man, you got all the women, you got all the girls, you got all the fame, all the money, but yet they're depressed. They're taking medicine. They're starving themselves. They're committing suicide. They're suicidal. They're having suicidal thoughts. Like they're extremely depressed. Like they're mentally, if not bad, they're far worse than we are, and we're living in hell. That's because just because they got the glitz and the glamour, that does not mean they're escaping judgment. Like those demons are tormenting them. So what? They got money. What good is you having a Benz and you want to make a left turn, but some say, hey, nigga, make a right. Go right, go right, go right. Look to your left. You look to your left and you see a leprechaun outside your window. You roll your window down, but ain't a leprechaun there. You're hallucinating. Like these are demons. This is something that's messing with you mentally. So I'll be there in a second, okay? You okay?
I'm so hungry.
All right, I'll get you some more food, all right?
What am I supposed to eat?
Grab that.
What?
Right there.
The chips?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, you're welcome. So, what good is to have that Benz and you seeing stuff that can't nobody else see? And we ain't talking about no stupids.
Yeah, I need help with the iPad.
1969.
No, not the password. Something.
I'll be in a second.
With the button.
All right, I'll be there in a second, okay?
So I can't watch. And I'm playing a little bit of problem.
Here. Take this.
Okay.
I'll be there. I'll come back. So what good is you got this Benz, but like you turn down the street, you got somebody yelling in your ear, and then you yell at your woman. She's like, who you talking to? Next thing you know, you talking to yourself, and you see anything ain't there. Now you admitted to a hospital, you got to take medicine and stuff like that. Now, that ain't no life to live just because you got a nice car, a nice house. So the point is, the righteous grow old and the wicked grow old. Like the sun shines on them, just like the sun shines on us. But the judgment's what they have to look into. They want to escape judgment. Like it says, a healthy person is dropped dead, dropped unalive. So yeah, they die as well, and they get judged as well. But until we get our kingdom, yeah, they might just grow old. So what? Like now, his household's not in order. He's taking medicine, or his children, they all messed up. Look at Britney. Remember Britney Spears? Y'all probably remember her.
I heard about it, but we ain't really.
I don't know what happened to her. Man, wait, good night. So these are people that they got the fame and the wealth, but like they're mentally, like they're destroyed. So the point is that I'm bringing out is that judgment comes. Like they say you grow old, right? Because like just because you grow old, that don't mean you living good. Like you can grow old, right? But you got to grow old with cancer. Could you imagine how to battle cancer for like 30 years? Could you imagine you got like colon cancer, you can't really use the bathroom for 30 years, you got to live through that? Could you imagine that you got like some type of hernia or something like that and you got to live with? Like, could you imagine any type of ailment that you got to live through until you grow old? Like, you do know that some people try to commit suicide because they tired of living their life, but don't be successful. I mean, the guy said, no, you don't die today. No, you're gonna live through this a little longer before I say you can die. So judgment comes. It might not come fast. Like a lot of times we tend to think of God as like a butler. We think like, hey God, do this right now. No, God don't work like that. God said, you know what? I got a plan for you. I'm gonna let you think everything good for 3 years. Get out healthy, then you gonna go to the park, go to only way to your family reunion, and then bam, somebody up the Uzi on him. He was doing so good though. He sold a little dope money, he got a little drugs, but he was doing good though. He gave Turks back to the community. Now, judgment for what you did 6 years ago will happen to you today if you don't repent. So like we tend to think they're like, yeah, they grow old, but judgment's still coming though. So I hope that broke it down for y'all, man. But cause like, yeah, they grow old too though. Like they grow old, but we gotta get inside that household like, man, how are y'all really living though? All right. With that, anybody got any questions? It's all good. It's all good. No sweat. As they come up, just feel free to always ask. Go ahead.
So we really it really do say we can like shed ourselves, our old self, and become better us, right?
Yeah. So what it said like your old self is meaning like, let's say for an example, right? So a man asked Sister Christ and said you gotta be born again, right? And the guy was like, "What you mean? I gotta go up inside my mother's womb?" He was like, "No." He was like, "No, like the person who you are, like you gotta kill that old self." So what is it? Is it Desmond and what else? Mondes. Desmond and Mondes. Mm-hmm. So who Desmond and Mondes is in the world when you become like a new creature in Christ and follow the Most High? Like what you did in the world, you no longer do. So for example, I don't know y'all, right? Let's say you used to get high, or you would sleep with another man's woman, or you would date women outside your race, or any stuff that goes against the law, right? Like once you stop doing that, like that's what Mondes and Desmond used to do. You become like a new person. So like now you get like you got a clean slate now. You're a whole new person. Like now I did it in the world. I'm in the truth now. So I don't do the wicked things. Like the stuff I used to do, that's what my dad and Desmond used to do. Now I'm such and such. Like now I'm a new person. Like my name in the world is King. King is my name. So what Kings do in the world, I used to have dreads. Like King used to do security, but like King will run them up. You know what I'm saying? King will run them up quick. You feel me? I'll run them up. I ain't playing no games. Broads or Negroes. You know what I'm saying? I get mine, I get it how I live, and I get it right out the mud, and I shine it in your face. But that's an old king, you know what I'm saying? I don't live my lifestyle like that no more. So that the king y'all knew was dead. Be like, no, he ain't gonna ride with you to go get something from nobody. He ain't gonna ride with you to go pick up a pack. Or none of that stuff like that. So we ain't not doing none of that wickedness. So that's the old king. The new person I am today, I'm preaching also 500 to rock you. My name means the Lord's path. So I'm a new person. So all the wickedness that I used to do, I got a clean slate. It was wiped away. And now I'm on this path of serving the Most High. So that's what I mean by becoming like someone new. Like you got to kill that old self. And it's not like something that happens over one day. Like you got to constantly keep killing your old self. So like your old demons, they come back. So let's say if you used to get high, that demon gonna come right back. If you used to like watch porn, it's gonna come right back. If you used to like, man, I'm trying to think of some moment. Outside of getting high and watching porn. I'm trying to think of some other stuff that's like certain addictions. They say like you suffer from alcoholism. Like if you not supposed to get drunk or you don't pop pills. I see that a lot with the fentanyl and stuff. So whatever demon you got in the world, that demon will try to come back 10 times stronger. You just gotta make sure that you keep this truth and you gotta fight that demon. You gotta fight that urge. You gotta be around your brothers, get counseling. Like, hey, sometimes you gotta remove yourself from certain people. And they will remove them from you. Like when I was in the world, man, all the wicked stuff I used to do, it was no problem. When I stopped being wicked, oh, you done changed. What you mean you can't ride with me, man? The ops right there. No, he ain't did nothing to me. What you mean? He stepped on my shoe, man, pushed me. Like, I'm not about to take this man's life because he pushed you and stepped on your shoe. Like, what's the crime? You inside of a packed club. Who not gonna get bumped into? Of course your drink gonna get spilled on your hand. So you see what I'm saying? So like, when you stop being wicked, that's when they turn against you. When you want to be righteous, you know what I'm saying? That's when they're gonna turn against you. You know what I'm saying? So when you want to be wicked, everybody with you. You see why it's so beautiful? It's because people love to straddle the fence. They love to do what they want to do. And inside these scriptures, you just read it like, no, you really don't have a choice. Lord, God told you how you can choose. Keep these laws, you live. If you don't, you die. If you grow old, you still ain't escaping judgment. He don't give a damn if you're 96 years old. You get judged. Anywhere from the unborn child to the 106-year-old man or woman. Everybody gets judged until you repent, all right? Get another question?
Nah, not too big, not too big.
All right, no sweat. We get ready to end this class. All right, let me make this security announcement real quick. Go to this. All right, so this is the ISUPK security announcement. We are the ISUPK, start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother or sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if their brother or sister need transportation to the school, also like after 6 months, if a brother or sister is interested in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to their brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period is over, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Ma'ashra, which means 10th in Hebrew. 10% of every penny or increase the Lord gives you. You give this to the treasury department or the teacher. Priest fund, which is a free will offering for priests. This is not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give for the next upcoming holy convocation to be determined. And remember, if you want to be a trooper inside the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarf. All right, and with that, we'll say Amajim. Amajim means stand. You know what I'm gonna say it agree. I'm gonna say it slowly. You have to say it right after me. Then we'll go from that way. So Amajim means to stand. This is how you stand in the Amajim. Fist balled up, right by your the line straps on your pants. So when I say this is Amajim, when I say Amajim Shabbat, it means stand at attention. So you take your hands, you stand separated, shoulders apart, hands behind your back. That's Amajim Shabbat. So now, so Amajim Shabbat, Amajim. When I say Barak, we put a hand right across our chest, and we'll say the degree that I told y'all. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Barak Atah. Yada Matah, which means hands back down. Class is missed. One song.
When Westworld. Let's get it. Don't be sure, tell them make sure. If not, we gon' make war. Clips say it hold 20, but I think it could take more. Grab a stick, fire on your camp, we gon' make s'mores. I ain't satisfied with my spot, then I'ma take yours. No matter how many roadblocks in my way, I'ma break forward. This path I'm on is so damn narrow, I just stay forward. Put them on my plate, I'm never full, I just ate more. Put them on my plate, I'm never full, give me 8 more. Nigga, I don't sugarcoat shit, bitch, I'm straightforward. Don't give a fuck if they don't let me in, I just break doors. Ballin' so hard, they asking what team that I play for. Scammer who? They ain't stopped making guns when they made yours. Sick with it, feeling like I woke up with stage 4. They ain't want the beast loose, what they opened up the cage for. Endure the pain, been through hard times is what I'm made for. Paid my dues, never left a wage, I just rage war. So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
Still against all enemies. In high school, you was the man, that's lost memory shit. lost energy. Never lost my energy, never lose control, never losing, dog, I plan to keep. You lose your mind where I'm from, I ain't talking from what you see. I never lost soul, losing times, wasting steady pacing. You off track, I'm on that. You pray to God, hoping he can save you. But there's power about war, and that's a different angle. This another lost cause, and I'm just adding to the list. They not seeing me for that reason, got a flash on the grip. Nigga, big priest, they gon' judge me by my increase. And I'ma keep stepping in these joys to the increase. Just got off the phone with Jacob, and he said it's time to shine. Certified, blue dot, put it on you, now you verified. One West world, bigger than World War III. Do not sleep, it's not cheap, and it's still top 3.
So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
Came on boats and then chains, so when I get rich, I'ma grab a boat and 10 chains with 12 ribs from each tribe. And each rib gonna have at least 3 kids. Yeah, I'ma have a deep squad. Been rapping since knee high, now a nigga shack size. Spit that holy fire, when you hear it, you get baptized. One West world, yeah, you niggas know the logo. And I'ma bust it down so the haters see the glow glow. Let's have a feast, let's shine on our enemies. Right in they face, let's blind all our enemies. Cause now we half, but we come from half knots. Throw that cash on the ground, my nigga, let's cast lots. I started from the bottom, birthed out of mud, raised by gangsters, turned out a thug. I ain't give a fuck, burnt out I was, from hitting licks in and out and selling nicks in the drop.
So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.